Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Wednesday, June 27th, 2018. Now before I get started, just two things. First of all, I am open for personal readings if you would like me to read your birth chart. Book with me at the link down below in my description box. And there, of course, I'll talk about personality traits, themes, what you may be experiencing now, have experienced, may experience in the near future, to hopefully help you get a better understanding of what's going on in your life and give you some unique insights, maybe, on how to deal with some of the things that you may be struggling with. So if that's something you're interested in, just getting my perspective, getting another perspective about what's going on in your life, again, please book with me at the link down below in my description box. Also, I'm going to do July 2018 webinar since it's coming up fast, and I'm going to do it this Thursday, June 28th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to talk about what's going on in July. When I see July, it's going to be a big month. We've got 2 eclipses out of 3 that will be happening, and of course it's eclipse season. It brings major change in your life in a really big way that can last at least 6 months, but I like to think eclipses can last even longer than that. So there's going to be a lot of change going on with the eclipse. First eclipse being in Cancer, it's really going to be a lot about home, family, where you get your sense of security and comfort from in life. I think you're figuring those things out, figuring out what you need to be happy and to build more of a home, but it may require you first to end some other things in your life that are going on, to see your life and going in a different direction, and of course to make some sacrifices and put some strategies in place in order to create the things that you know your heart wants. So again, if you're interested in that, please sign up at the link down below in my description box. And we'll go from there. I might change up some of my offerings very soon. In terms of what I offered you all. I know I still want to do my subscription service too, so I'm still working some of that stuff out just in my mind, trying to get everything in order, but we're gonna keep doing this for now. So I hope that helps. Sorry, I'm a little sluggish. I've been a little sluggish the past few days, so I'm just trying to hang in there with you all. Now your horoscope, what we've got is the moon. It's going to enter Capricorn today at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And when the moon's in Capricorn, what it's going to do is it's going to bring our attention to responsibility, to work, to putting in the work, to taking on the responsibility, to doing the things that we need to do that perhaps we've been putting off. Okay? Yeah. What else is Capricorn concerned about? Concerned about your career, your reputation, your life direction. Those are all big things, big keywords with Capricorn, okay? And that's what we're thinking about. The moon does not necessarily like being in Capricorn, just to remind you all of that, just because the moon would rather be in Cancer. The moon likes to feel nurtured, emotionally comfortable, safe. But when the moon is in Capricorn, it has to put some of those feelings behind, some of your emotional wants, emotional needs, emotional desires behind, so that you can get to work, take care of the things that you need to take care of. Do the things that can ultimately put your life in a better place. And so I think that's what's going on today, really having to put some of our feelings aside so that we can do some of the things that it is that we need. With the moon just coming out of Sagittarius, where it will be before 10 a.m. this morning, I think there were a lot of new things that we were trying to do, a lot of things maybe that we were mulling over about how to be more passionate about our lives, how to be happier in our lives, how to enjoy life. And I think maybe after we got some of those insights about what we needed to do, the moon in Capricorn, which we'll move into at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, then says, okay, now that you may have gotten some of these insights about what you needed to do to be happier, to adjust your belief systems, to do something new, now you've got to figure out how to take all this stuff that you came up with and put it into action and to use it to your advantage and to move forward on it, even if it means you have to put some of your feelings aside in the meantime in order to do it, okay? So that's what's going on there. Now at 12 p.m., so this is noon, my time, the moon is going to move further through Capricorn and it's going to come into a trine with Uranus. And what that could bring at that time are perhaps some unexpected events. It could be maybe something unexpected happens to you, or you yourself decide to do something unexpected to break free from some restrictions that have been holding you back. With Uranus and Taurus, it may very well be money related, financially. Could also have a lot to do with your gifts and skills and talents. Perhaps you're trying to move forward here, taking something new that maybe you've been thinking about for the past few days to be happier. You're starting to figure out how you can take that to the next level, to the next step. And as you're trying to figure out how you can do some things that you need to put your life in a better place, maybe there's something unexpected that comes up again with money or with your talents, or maybe you do something unexpected to kind of aid in the process of doing the things that you need to ultimately feel better later, even if you can't feel good right now, okay? So I do think that's a lot of it, like really trying to just figure out what you need to be happy and to really try to put some of the plans in place to do some of the things you need to make things work, to make things feel better eventually, even if they aren't good right now, okay? Yeah, so that's what we've got there at 12 p.m. Then 2 hours later, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, the moon's going to move further through Capricorn and it's going to come into a square with Chiron. So maybe you do something unexpected to hopefully break free from something that's been restricting you in the past so that you can do something that's not restricting you in the future, something that you feel is better for you in the future. There could be some uncomfortable feelings that come up. Perhaps you say, okay, maybe now I more or less kind of know what I need to do that's new or different to feel better. How do I, again now with Chiron and Aries, act on it? How do I do what I need to do in order to put my life in this better place, to use more of my talents, to hopefully break free from old financial situations to come into new ones? Maybe it's hard for you to figure out how to do it. Or maybe you're worried that you're not sure if it really resonates with you, since Aries rules your identity. Can I do this? Is this really who I am now? That could be a little bit hard to figure some of that stuff out. Or maybe you feel like, right, you are doing it. Okay, well, I realize this is what I need to do and I'm trying to do it, but it's just not going in the way that I want it to go. Things aren't happening, of course, always with Capricorn as quickly as I want them to happen. You know, could also be a little bit of the issue there at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. It's like we're trying to do some things that we need that perhaps are new or different to put our life in a better place. Maybe we have to put some of our emotions aside so that we can break free from old situations, and it's bringing up maybe some insecurities, or maybe there's some roadblocks in the process about how exactly we move forward, doing some things that we realized we needed to do. Okay, then after that, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves further through Capricorn and it comes into a conjunction with Saturn. And what that will bring, possibly at 8 p.m., perhaps there's some feelings of restriction, some roadblocks, especially with Saturn, feeling like you're trying to do things, but maybe you feel blocked when it comes to doing the things that you need, that you got the insights on earlier, the trine to Uranus, but that maybe have been hard for you to put into place. So there could be some of that comes in. Maybe also as well, feeling at 8 p.m. too, like you've got some big responsibilities weighing on you that you also need to take care of as you're trying to do some other things. So could be a little bit hard. Could be good though if you take on the responsibility, if you realize that the things in your life that you want to do are going to take time, that may not happen right away, that you may have to deal with setbacks, but that even if you have to deal with setbacks in the short term doesn't mean you can't get to where you want to go in the long term. So that's just kind of some ways to deal with that. If you're feeling restricted, if you're feeling like things are difficult, especially as we move on towards the end of the day, needing to realize, right, that the long-term vision is key, playing the long-term game is key, and to not get too bummed if things in the short term aren't going quite as fast or quite in the way that it is that you want. All right, so that's what we've got there. And the next thing I want to mention, which is really the biggest thing of the day, although it's not going to happen until 10 p.m. Mountain Time, so pretty much into tomorrow for many of you, is going to be the full moon. The moon's going to move further through. It's not even going to move that far. It's going to move like 1 degree further through Capricorn and come into an opposition with the sun and Cancer. And of course, that is what makes a full moon when the moon opposes the sun. And this full moon is super interesting because it's going to happen on top of Saturn. Okay, full moons to me do typically indicate culminations, completions, and also endings. So what this could definitely bring is some kind of culmination here over Saturn and Capricorn, the natural home of Saturn, in one life direction, in where you thought your life was going, in a reputation that you had, social standing, something along those lines, all right? And the reason why perhaps that is ending or coming to completion is so that, again, I think I've been saying this the past few days, you can focus more on what you need to feel more comfortable emotionally, building a home, nurturing yourself emotionally, doing more of what you need to feel comfortable in life. And before we can feel comfortable in life with the solar eclipse that's going to happen in 2 weeks, and Cancer, before we can start to figure out what we need to feel comfortable, to build a home, to pay more attention to our private, our personal, our emotional needs, we first have to figure out, where is our life going? What is the right life direction for us? What really can help us put our life in the place that we want it to be in? And we either need to step into that thing that we've been working on that can give us the best results, or we need to complete an old life direction, an old reputation that maybe served us at one time, but that is no longer meant for us, so that we can then start to create something else that really does more truly resonate with us. All right. And I think that's what's going on. You know, especially with like the Saturn Pluto coming conjunct in Capricorn, especially with the moon just being in Sagittarius, I tend to favor, instead of the completing an old life direction and really stepping into your power, I personally tend to favor in this situation ending, especially because Saturn and Pluto is going to bring like a big ending and like something else in your life to make space for another thing. And I tend to favor that interpretation the most. I think that this full moon on Saturn is really all about wherever you thought your life was going, whatever you thought your life was going to be. I think it really is time to just come to terms with the fact that it is not that and is now taking on a different form, going in a different direction. And I do think that, yeah, that's just what it's all about, especially with a lot of the Saturn just being in Sagittarius, the moon just being in Sagittarius. I really do think we're starting to realize what we need to feel more at home with life, more comfortable, and as a result are having to do something new in order to feel more at home, even if we don't necessarily want to do this new thing. And I think the full moon in Capricorn is saying, okay, even if you don't want to do this new thing, you know you're being called to do it. You know you need to do something else to feel the way that it is that you want to feel. But in order to do the thing that you ultimately need that will help you feel better, you have to end the old life, end the old thing, end the attachment to the old thing, so that you can let yourself do the other thing and open up more space to do the thing that really will resonate with you, to let go of the old stuff so that you can, free up more in your life to do more of the things that really will work for you, really will resonate with you. And I think that's what's going on. Okay, hopefully ending a time of responsibilities, ending a time of restrictions, ending a time of like things that didn't work for you in the way that you wanted. You know, maybe that's also what it is. If there were some things in the past, and I like to think I've been preparing you for this in my other videos, if there have been some things in the past that you've been struggling with that have been really hard for you lately or in the past few months, here with Saturn, I think the full moon is saying it's time for you to get a new perspective on some of the things that have been hurting you, on some of the things that have been hard for you, on some of your restrictions in life, so that you can do something else entirely that really can support your new life, support your emotional well-being moving forward, and to kind of come into new chapters with that. Okay, and that's what I see there. You know, as to where the moon in a conjunction with Saturn may typically be a hard thing, and I did interpret it that way. I said the moon's going to come into a conjunction with Saturn at 8 p.m. tonight and bring restriction. I do think that the full moon tonight, right around that time, can actually I don't know, I feel like it can actually make it kind of like a really beautiful experience of you starting to realize what has been holding you back so far and what you need to do moving forward differently to break through the things that are holding you back so that you finally can feel comfortable. All right. I think that's the message that I want to get at. Like, I really do think maybe it's all about facing some of our restrictions, facing some of the same things, the same problems that we feel like have been holding us back, so that we can come into new chapters with them, see them in different perspectives, end the things that have been holding us back, so that we can do them better, do other things that can better serve us in the process. All right, I'll leave that there. Now, other things that are happening, we do have the sun in an opposition with Saturn, which I obviously was just talking about because the moon's going to be there, feeling a little bit restricted, perhaps by life. But again, I think the full moon's going to help us to hopefully heal some of those things that have been restricting us. to see them in different ways, to do things better, that can ultimately aid in our own emotional well-being. Again, with the opposition, you may have to make choices here, choices between what you thought you wanted, choices between where you thought your life was going, so that you can do more of what feels better for you, okay? The choice here, especially with this full moon happening in this spot, is not to double down on a career that's not working for you, is not to double down to work even harder, to ignore your own needs. The choice definitely at this full moon is, look, you gotta stop working so hard. You gotta stop forcing things that aren't meant to happen. You gotta stop ignoring your own intuition. You have to stop ignoring your own physical, your own needs. And so I think that's what's going on here, is that maybe you're making choices, but the choice you need to make is not to double down on some responsibility, to keep trying to climb the mountain. Maybe at another time, the choice is to, look, I'm not going to climb the mountain this time because maybe this is not my mountain. Maybe this is not the mountain I'm meant to climb, you know, or maybe I'm meant to climb this mountain, but another time, maybe a few years from now, I'm meant to climb this mountain, or maybe this mountain was a mountain that I needed to climb 3 years ago, but it's no longer for me. And so I think that's kind of what is going on. You got to make choices here that can support your own well-being, instead of forcing yourself to do some things that either you weren't meant to do at this time, that are just not right for you, or that are just going to wear you out and burn you out and tear you down in the process, okay? So we've got that happening. Venus also in a square with Jupiter. So again, changes with relationships and money. Hopefully, again, to support your own emotional well-being, to do more of what you need emotionally to feel safe and secure in some way. All right, and hopefully trying to make sense as well of your relationships and your money and of what it is that you need. All right, Mars also going retrograde, which I do love this a lot. I think Mars going retrograde helping you to get answers on where your life is going and what your future looks like. I don't think they're all going to come overnight, but I do think this full moon can be very powerful. I do like full moons that happen on major planets, because I think they really can help you to break through some things that have been holding you back, bring fresh energy, get new perspective. And I do think that especially with this full moon here on Saturn, Mars just went retrograde, that there is a really big chance to slowly start to get more information about what you need to do next and how you can do more of what you need to feel better, even if it's only a very positive start to what's going on. And that start to you figuring out what you need emotionally is possibly going to start with an ending. And knowing what you don't want, knowing what's not good for you, so that you can then build some other things in from there, especially at the solar eclipse. All right. So we've got that, and then Mercury as well will be moving into Leo very soon. It's not there yet, it's still in Cancer. So of course we're still thinking about our emotions, what we need to feel more comfortable in our lives, but eventually Mercury will move into Leo. It will square Uranus and it will trine Chiron, so just keep that in mind toward the end of the week, even though I think we are getting some insights about our life, about what we need to do to end a time of struggle and to go into a better time, hopefully for us emotionally, even if we have to, you know, upend some things in the process, make some hard decisions, sacrifice some things that we thought we wanted or where we thought our life was going. Even though we are doing that, just know that Mercury here in a square with Uranus could bring up some unexpected conversations, either by yourself or others, some unexpected news. Again, about what you need to do to be happy, that may be a little bit hard to put into place and to act on once you get this news or these insights. And of course, Venus as well was just through this spot. Yeah, so I guess that's what I'll say there. Yeah, I really do think it's like about time we realize what is not meant for us, what is not working for us, so that we can realize what we do need, what will work for us, so that we can pay attention more to our own personal needs and not to some of this other bigger stuff at the moment. Okay? Yeah. Your card for the week. Your card for the day is the Empress, right? Or the Emperor? Yeah, it's the Emperor reversed. Again, more reverse cards. So the Emperor, when it's upright, is all about structure, putting structure in his place. He's traditional. You know, it's funny. I kind of see the Emperor card as being like a card of a Capricorn. It's like a very Capricorn kind of card. Because the Emperor is all about tradition, structure, need to protect what I have, you know, need to make sure everything's fine. And I think that this card is saying, You know, sometimes we try to buckle down too much when the Emperor is reversed. We try to control things too much structure in our life. Try to make sure everything is just right, everything in our life is protected. And I think this card, when it's reversed, is saying, well, yeah, stop trying to control. Stop trying to control the outcome of certain events. Stop trying to make sure that everything is going exactly the way that you planned in the traditional kind of sense. Like, it's okay for there to be, again, I think I've said this before, old structures in your life that are coming down, that are no longer working for you. That's okay. Stop trying to preserve a system in your life that is no longer working for you. You know? Stop trying to do that. Stop trying to force things to happen that aren't meant for you. Stop trying to build systems that can support a life that you don't like. And instead, start to work more towards cultivating things that you do feel suit you more and suit you better. There's no use in protecting a life that you don't like. There's no use in, protecting like a set of value systems, things that you have, if they're not really what you're meant for. So let those things go. Don't protect things, don't hold on to things that really aren't the best for you at the moment, okay? And be okay if some of that security in your life isn't there at the moment. Doesn't mean that it won't be, you know, especially with this full moon in Capricorn. It doesn't mean that you can't have your life in the direction that it is that you want. It's just in order for you to create a better life, putting your life in a better direction, feeling more comfortable, you may have to let go of the old stuff that wasn't working for you before the new stuff can come in. All right. So that's what I'll leave with you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I will talk to you later.